Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships for Naughty or Nice, episode 3, as it should be. Maybe I have to double check, but it should be episode number 3. And I lost track of the original video I wanted to showcase this week for the Naughty and Nice, so I have to do some hunting through my documents. But if you're new here to the Naughty or Nice series, it's essentially what happens in the battle is teammates or enemy team or both, naughty, nice, or perhaps both. So you're going to see what happens here in this video today. So we are sailing in the Brisbane, the essentially Minotaur, but of course there are multiple differences, and one of which is that we don't have a smoke screen. We do get a radar, but it is a 12-kilometer radar, and you get the high explosive. You get more torpedoes as well that do 13.5-kilometer range, and I believe gun range is the same at 15.8. So this battle is going to be very, very poor performance on my part in terms of the damage that we do in the game. It's mainly going to be dependent upon how our team positions and the nature of Brisbane. When you don't have your own smoke, you have to play off of how your teammates are playing. You can already see we have a cruiser that's sailing towards the north on the D8 corner it is. Possibly he's going to ground himself, I don't know. And I'm going to try to get some sneaky torps off here, maybe if Wisconsin somewhat keeps sailing along here, because we can single launch them and widespread them. But we have to play off of islands, smoke, and if we open up in the open, that's going to be very difficult because we can get slapped and losing a lot of hit points really, really, really fast, because after all, this is a Minotaur hull, if you will. So what you're going to see is some questionable positioning from our teammates on our side of the map as we're working to take the cap. I'm sitting here protecting Doom Beagle. I've got radar coverage almost over the entire cap. I can even step up a little bit more because it's almost completely covering the island now. And maybe just another 2 minutes and you'll begin to figure out, is this a naughty or nice or both kind of episode for today's future here. So one of the things we do a lot, as you're seeing, is we play through a throttle quite a lot, and that's pretty typical with this ship because we don't want to always be constantly sitting still, even though we're sitting behind an island. It's just good to get in the habit to normally be playing with your throttle. Otherwise, it's not so great. So the enemy team's kind of set up when you're looking at the mini-map and just seeing what you can see visible here, is that they're pretty much pushing into us, so we would prefer that they just push into us. We don't have a need to step into the cap, getting closer to the enemy team. Again, we're playing pretty passively right now and just trying to get more torpedoes off, waiting for the enemy team to make a mistake, as it were. Thinking about being cheeky there and pop a salvo from Wisconsin and dip behind the island. Kind of decide not to. So, again, it's going to be a pretty slow start here, but it's going to be pretty amusing when we get into the majority of the naughty or nice aspect of this video. So now pay attention here. If you look on the bottom right of the screen of my consumables, I only have 4 radar consumables. This is going to be important to note. I'm the only radar on our team. And so we have 4 radars, we have 4 hydros, we have 4 repair parties, okay? And I'm pretty sure that's with the superintendent build, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong here. But with our concealment of 9.8, no, is it? I can't tell. I think it's 9.8. The mini-map is not fully blown up on my screen here, but we do get detected here, so we're going to go ahead and pop our radar, and yeah, it is 9.8. This is a submarine as well. Catch a glimpse of him, and we're going to be shooting at this Yu Yang. This Yu Yang player is going to be part of the attention in today's video. So you can see my party target is 5, now it's 4. Look where my battleships are. They're up on the BC line, Wisconsin with 9 406s, one of the most accurate battleships in the game. Absolutely wrecks us. I think we took like 2 citadels there, or 1 citadel with like a lot of pins. We use our propulsion to quickly maneuver away. We're going to stop firing. We are going to be healed back a good chunk of the damage we ultimately took there. But with how our battleships kind of moved back up towards the BC line, it means, again, we have to play off of them. So, you know, one of the things that's nice about Minotaur, if you do take a smoke Minotaur, then you can just simply play in your smoke. There's no threat besides the torpedoes really punishing us or a battleship taking a blind fire shot on us. And there's a submarine, pesky, causing some spotting. And then we have this Wisconsin who's pretty much committed. One of the challenges is, like you're going to see this Wisconsin demonstrate for us on enemy team, is once you've pushed up into the cap, maybe even more so on this side than over on the A cap, but once you've pushed it up into this cap, you're pretty much committed between the island you have on the 8-9 line, there on the was that F line, and then of course one of the 2 major islands there in the middle of the map. So no, this isn't a go down the center kind of video, but it is one where we get some competition going on here. So we're gonna just simply move away. Unfortunately, Wisconsin has maneuvered away from all of our torpedoes, and we're gonna be helping the Hipper out with the enemy Wisconsin. And also our friendly Wisconsin is just back here over to the right side of the screen, and he's gonna smack the Wisconsin. So I end up getting a little bit of salt from the Hipper here, because Hipper's reversed out broadside. He wants to torpedo the Wisconsin, so I'm helping. Wisconsin smacks the Wisconsin, bringing him to an inch of life. And because we already had shots in the air and the fire started, we're going to get the kill. So, what ends up happening here? Well, pay attention to chat. we kill still. We only have 7,900 damage, but I wasn't expecting. I mean, of course, it's great that the Wisconsin could have actually completely yoinked the other enemy Wisconsin. So I'm actually surprised. I mean, the Citadel in the Wisconsin is actually really trollish. So yeah, it is what it is. So we get a little salt there from the Hipper, but hey, it is what it is. And part of the irony is when you've been playing, I've been playing the game for over 5 years now, and when you get the type of salt in chat, it's kind of more humorous. Like most times I just like let it roll off the back, don't really interact with it too much. But you're gonna see some really interesting stuff when we get here later towards the end of this battle. And I'm going to explain some of the decisions. And you can actually play Radar Minnow somewhat similar to how you're going to see me play Brisbane here at the end of the battle. So we have a Zal, and we're stepping up. We're going to try to put the island between us, the GK, and the Venezia. And Doom, I think he also took, the Zal took Torps, but he's gone. So we're not doing very much, even though we picked up the general offensive. So if I were to slow down here a little bit more, then we probably could have kept picking away on the Venezia, but alas, we end up not in this scenario. But we're going to continue pushing back in, and you can already see there's more Torps on the way for the other GK. Don't know if that GK has Hydra up or not, but he's going to take a bit of Torps, and we've just been completely unlucky this game. There's some games I definitely am unlucky in landing the torpedoes. But one of the things that's helpful in showing you, as much as the video that I am showing you before kind of getting to the good stuff, is for you to kind of see how this battle unfolds with this little damage as we get. You know, here I'm going to go ahead and gamble. I'm going to go ahead and open up again out in the open because I'm kind of want damage. I'm kind of tired of only rocking around with the 8K damage. And so immediately GK puts his secondaries on us. We're outside of secondary range now. And we're deciding probably at this point it's best for us to go dark because I have to turn broadside either way to maneuver and not ram the island. So we decide it's best to just go dark and then turn back in. So one of the things here is we want to move up on the flank. The Kremlin's actually doing pretty good. He's definitely been putting pressure as a battleship and finally moving up on the side. I mean, we've been playing pretty passive back here, so I really want to be able to get up here. You know, as soon as we open up, they're just firing at us, right? We're kind of vulnerable. We're a vulnerable light cruiser. So Kremlin takes out the Venezia. So that makes things a lot easier for us because the sap on Venezia absolutely wrecks Brisbane Minotaur armor scheme. And our role really is we want to get up here and we want to support the Kremlin from the enemy Yu Yang. We want to be able to hunt the destroyers. The Brisbane plays somewhat similar to Minotaur in that same regard, that if you take out the enemy destroyers, then essentially you can become the destroyer, and having that really good concealment overall as a tier 10 cruiser. So we're going to open up on the GK. His secondaries are focusing on the Kremlin, so we do want to help GK out if at all possible. We're going to go ahead and turn in now. We don't want to turn in from on the island, so we're going to switch our guns around. All right, we're getting some fire set here. But unfortunately, Kremlin is going to go down to the Yang torpedoes the same time as our Yamato goes down from the enemy Yamato, and we pick up the brother in arms. So we got to keep pushing down. Now, it is a bit difficult here. Doom was trying to help the Kremlin as much as possible, and ends up getting detected by Yu Yang, and on that little of health, then he gets yoinked. So unfortunately, we weren't able to be more closer to help out. You can see we're behind in the points. The cap control is even, but it's not that big of a difference here. And even though our Hydra has gone down, you know, there was a bunch of torpedoes Kremlin 8, we will just be mindful until our Hydra comes off of cooldown, and we're going to get another radar use off of here. So now we've only used one radar here, foreshadowing a little bit with where this video is going, but we've only used one radar. Now we're going to see if we can get lucky with torps. We got nothing better to do right now. Our radar is ready. We can make life difficult for Yang if we get detected. Then we know we'll certainly have him in radar range. But even if you build for radar in Brisbane, it doesn't last as long as the 10-kilometer radar on the Minotaur. So I still prefer playing Minotaur over the Brisbane. But, you know, they each kind of have their own unique traits and characteristics, if you will. So I'm going to illustrate something for you, just as a fun side tip as we get into the bit of the naughty or nice here. One of the things you can do, which you're going to watch us do here shortly, is, you know, so one is our radar doesn't last long and we're hunting the Yu Yang. If I didn't have radar in a cruiser, I wouldn't be pushing the Yu Yang. I would just be sitting on the decap, basically. And you can see I'm getting a little bit of salt again from the, not necessarily salt, it's just advice from our, I think, Hipper, who's saying, okay, now he's getting a little more salt. I'm going to lose the game, lose the battle for us. Well done, essentially. So we do have our radar now, finally, or hydro, excuse me. And I want to turn out, back away, but I'm still detected. And he's still within detection range, and I'm like, okay, maybe now I can go ahead and make the turn. And as soon as I decide to make the turn, guess what we end up spotting here? Well, it should be popping up on the screen about any moment now, and that is torpedoes. So only 10 deep water torpedoes, but if we just eat just 2 of those, we won't do well. But we have a really good rudder shift. We have some good propulsion here on the Brisbane, and so as long as I control my throttle and speed, you know, oh, too late, you're gonna die, Flimsy. Psych, we're just gonna rock the side of the ship and curving along with the torps. So now this is the part I want to illustrate here, besides I didn't mean to put derp in all caps, is you act like you're fleeing. You're playing Brisbane, you're playing Radar Minnow, act like you're running away, okay? When you act like you're running away in a cruiser like this, what you'll do is you end up faking out the enemy destroyer player that, oh, the cruiser player is running, I can push back in, right? They still have the points lead, they have the getting the cap control here, but we're psyching the Yu Yang out because now I know if I re-engage with him, I will be able to get the kill, or at least should be, as long as my aim is halfway decent. So I want to catch him off guard, as our Rigolo, who does a really good job this battle. Takes out the enemy Montana, so that's great for us, and that puts us in the lead with points rise, but unfortunately we're only 3 caps now, and we have 2 destroyers to deal with. So my goal is to take out the Yu Yang here. So I'm not sure, the Z42 is of course up at the B cap or whatever, and we catch the Yu Yang off guard. Now this is the 3rd radar we've used. Only the 3rd radar. So Yu Yang keep pushing in. Will he turn out away? He decides to turn out and away, probably in an attempt to get torpedoes off. We also get to use this island here for coverage, which works out really well for us. So this was a really safe decision, despite us not having any more hydro available at the moment. So I get asked by the Yu Yang player if I have 6 radars. So no, we only get 4. The GK that died earlier says possible or cheats, which honestly is like hysterical here now. Now here I need to be mindful here, so I can just slow down and like turn in, because we don't want to be too aggressive here. I'm just looking if I do need to go to C cap, and I'm like, okay, if Yu Yang torps should have spawned out by now if you fired them. We're not seeing any, so we're being a little bit of risk there. But we do move over here to help deal with the Z42, or coming down the center. Weird, you're the only radar that has 6. And I said 4 radars. 4 radars is all I have. So, it's kind of funny how I got the Yu Yang player doubled the amount of radars I have. I don't know if you ran into some maybe hydro or something from one of our teammates, but it's always funny to be accused of cheating in the game, as it were, for, you know, whatever reasons, whatever purposes. Like, I don't have any salt against the Yu Yang player or the GK player or anything like that. It's literally just humor for me at this point. So that's a little bit of the naughty or nice. So, you know, it's better, in my opinion, if there's something you don't understand or you're questioning it, and if, you know, kind of genuinely trying to respond and just saying, you know, I only have 4, you know, then go look to see the stats on the ship, the equipment on the ship. As far as I know, there's no way to mod the game or put something into Cosmo radars. I've never ran into that in my 5 years of playing. So usually if you get kind of one of the funny things, not saying that this is necessarily what the Yu Yang player is doing, but if you outplay people, then when they get really upset and annoyed, then they end up just accusing you of cheating, hacks, mods, things like that. But really it isn't. And, you know, even if you're running like those type of things and you get caught, like perma-banned from World of Warships, and, you know, why would I jeopardize an account that I've ran for 5 years and have a lot of investment sunk into it in terms of all the ships I've grounded and stuff in the game. So that is a naughty episode for you today. I will try to do my best to find an episode I really originally featured, because I do have some battles with some very lovely chaps, and we have some very nice camaraderie in the chat and playing in World of Warships. But, you know, typically when playing a video game, you tend to run more into the naughty than the nice as a whole, percentage base wise. So with that being said, if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. Subscribe. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. Until next time, take care.